All right, guys. Welcome everyone on the live Twitch feed. Welcome everyone on the YouTube video on demand or on the Twitch video on demand. Or welcome pretty much everyone who is watching SlipperyJim shaking his head right now. My name is CatmasterOP. I'm here with Waifu. Our guest is SlipperyJim. We're doing this little thing that we call the Faded Connections podcast, where we talk about the game that we all love, which is Path of Exile. And yeah, today we got a bunch of topics prepared. We're gonna talk mostly about our start in the Flashback League, about our experience with Bestiary, because we haven't talked about that in particular with SlipperyJim. And then we're going to go into a very interesting topic. SlipperyJim is actually, for those of you who don't know, which I don't think there's that many, Slippery is actually a pretty large YouTube content creator doing these videos where he, opens 100 sets of this divination card, or he farms 100 maps of this type or that thing. Like really just the number, how do you call that? Number smashing videos.
Money burning, time wasting.
Yeah, something like that. Thanks for filling that in. And he actually got a huge followership, so most of the people here know him already. But for those of you who don't know, he recently made a video where he compared item quantity with item rarity. He made two different characters on which he stacked one of the two, and then farmed the same amount of maps of the same type of map, I hope. I don't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure I don't remember. And that's what we're going to go into. And after that, we got a little bit of a discussion about the last skill rework post on the Path of Exile news page, which is the skill reworks for Vaal skills, as far as they are announced so far. And let's see where and how we branch off. I think we've had podcasts where Waifu started. We've had podcasts where I started. I think we want to hand it to SlipperyJim first. Slippery, what have you been up to in the last couple of days since the flashback race started? And how do you feel?
Well, recently I've recovered from a lot of cringe from that podcast introduction. Last 30 seconds, actually. The race. Yeah, I'm shit. You put me on the spot. I can't do this. I'm leaving. No, podcasts are great. Yeah, flashback race. I had a really shit start, and then this is like the first time I've actually gotten to maps in one sitting, It's great because from from Breach League, I took, I think, 4 weeks to get to maps, and compared that to 1 day is actually, it's pretty good. How are you supposed to talk about it? It's only been 2 days. Shit always happens.
Impressions, right? First of all, do you want to tell us?
It's fucking amazing. There's so much monsters to kill. Why isn't the standard like this? That's a great impression. Your turn. Moving on.
Well, it's not the first flashback. But are you playing in solo self-found or?
No, I'm playing Scrub Trade League. I'm not a humble bragging solo self-found WaifuGate player. Sorry, he's been talking about it constantly. No, yeah, Trade League, so I can make money and stuff. But no one wants to trade because the economy's shit, and everyone thinks exalts are going to get more expensive. But they're not if no one's going to buy anything. Sorry, I'm very upset. I've got a lot of pent-up trading rage.
Wait,
I bought a Calm's Heart. That's a bonus. Second day Calm's Heart. Thumbs up.
You're playing Righteous Fire?
No, I'm Poet's Pen, which was a great choice to get something that's so sought after in Trade League. You're not going to have to spend all of your money immediately trying to get a goddamn Poet's Pen. Actually, someone that's in chat probably chanced one for me, and I took it off them, and I owe them a lot of money for it. That was a friend in my league, guild, Discord. That's the word. Got it. Yeah. Anything else? I'm shit at. This is so. Yeah, I can sit here. I could sit here in this podcast and I can talk for 10 hours straight about fucking this race. I can I can make up content for as long as you need, but you need to talk. You need to give me something to bounce off, or if I'm going to be sitting here making shit up.
What's your plan for the flashback league?
Man, I'm gonna do all the shit I've never done. I've never killed Shaper because I'm shit, so I'm gonna attempt that. I've never killed Ubrudder because it's new and I'm shit, and I've never killed Shaper. And I'm gonna attempt Uber at Theory. It's not gonna happen. Maybe I'll do normal at Theory. I kind of want to clear Hall of Grandmasters. That's why I picked Poet's Pen. I'm going down it. I'm already thinking about the immense pain it's going to be to attempt to do all of the shit I've never done with Poet's Pen. Because Poet's Pen is so goddamn. It's like Flickr except shit. You know, like Flickr, when you bounce between stuff, it's got like a slight animation. I know some people can't do Flickr because it's like, hey, I'm gonna throw up. That's fine. Poet's Pen is just like one moment you're here, and then if you got body swap on, and then the next minute you're 14 screens away and detonate dead, screaming for your life because there's no animation between the two. It's like playing a slideshow. It's terrifying. So yeah, that's been my last 2 days. I feel sick right now.
To be fair, you'll have a good chance at doing Uber at Zuri because of like Kadiro possibly giving you a deal on like one of the fragments, like just stuff like that. Like you have more chances to and a lot of
actually clearing it though.
Oh
like,
yeah,
Poet's Pen and all the orbs are just going to go punch the things that are going to reflect and kill me. But apart from that, yeah. Great.
Is there the flashback mods also on the series? I mean on
God,
the Apex of Sacrifice and stuff, like Tormented Spirits or like Beyond.
I have not dared enter it. Someone says it is in chat because I'm paying attention. That sounds like a terrifying ordeal if a Harbinger is going to show up in the boss room.
Well, I just know because in previous races it was always in all areas, and now they've tuned it down a little bit. So in master side areas, master missions, it's not there.
An abyss showed up in Labyrinth, and a guy went down the abyss, and it cancelled his Labyrinth. Like it kicked him out of the instance. I think it was an Uber lab as well. He lost the instance because he cleared the abyss, tried to go back up, and the instance was gone. So don't go into abysses in Labyrinth. But yeah, I think it shows up everywhere. They fucked it. It's broken.
I have a question. Some people have said that they've removed the reflect off of the porcupine, and I don't know if that's true or not for the invasion boss, the porcupine guy.
Oh, which
Haven't
other porcupine is there? That is the invasion boss.
Yeah.
There's nothing else but the invasion boss.
Yeah. Did they remove the reflect off of him?
Yeah, a while ago.
He doesn't have it apparently. Nice.
Thank you.
They did that already for the mayhem and turmoil, I think.
Okay. No, I just need to hear that like 50 times before I just.
Did they have you guys? You guys have played the flashback race a fair bit, right? Did they change how Harbingers look? Like they are so blue now, like them Blue Man Group. Have you seen that? Like they're like so like blue? They've got a color. No, like in Harbinger, they were nowhere near as blue. But this time it's like you could see them coming. It's great.
I already successfully forgot about Harbinger League. That league was super disappointing to me.
Maybe it's just my LED monitor blinding my retinas with the bright blue Harbinger boys. No, they look super blue. I can't. Yeah. Moving on. How have you guys been? That's great.
Yeah, Waifu, tell us about how did your journey start and end up at the point where you are, which is the top 10 of the Gladiator ladder in solo self-found hardcore.
Humble brag.
Humble brag.
Yeah, I humble brag for you so you don't get hate.
Okay. Well, the start was a little rough. I didn't really get anything as far as like leveling gear is concerned. I had to just use a crafted weapon all the way up. I ended up getting like my colors okay. My filter was kind of shit, so I struggled with that. I didn't get to fix that until I was basically in maps. So I had my whole screen cluttered. I almost died a few times because of that. It's pretty exciting. It was just a bunch of like 3 sockets and 2 sockets that I just didn't want to see on my screen throughout Blood Aqueducts.
Wait, and how did that come that you didn't have the item filter that you want?
No, I had the item filter, but I thought that I would need one for Cleave and Onslaught, right? So here's the thing about that. I start out with that weapon anyway as a duelist, and I just didn't foresee this. So throughout my whole leveling experience, I had red-green showing up everywhere.
Oh, okay.
For Onslaught for that, and it was just completely
I remember
unnecessary.
Project PT doing like a filter for the race, and he was looking on Filter Blade XYZ how he could do a custom rule to highlight a 2 link in the colors that he needs. And I was like, why would you want to highlight a 2 link? Like not
Yeah.
every item or basically
It's-
already two linked that you
it's-
find at the
yeah.
vendor, outside of the ones that only have one socket or like
Right.
3 unlinked sockets. But it's so rare to find something that's not two linked. I was like,
Yeah.
you probably don't need a filter for that.
Did you make your own filter, or did you use like a NeverSync pre-built or something?
NeverSync pre-built. I
Did
do
you go
that.
for like one of the like, leveling up like the caster, and it like showed? I picked the caster one, and it kept making like a red with white outlines, really loud thing.
I started out with the basic NeverSync filter, which was the worst idea that I've ever had in my entire existence.
No, for leveling at least semi-strict.
Yeah, semi-strict still, and it was just I'm still fixing things right now as we speak. As we do this podcast, I'm thinking about how I can make my filter better. But I had white amulets showing up still in my maps, like before I quit the stream, basically before I hosted someone or whatever. Quit the stream. That sounds so dumb. But yeah, I'm still editing that. But as far as like the whole flashback experience, I'm just going on and on now, just milking it. I'm too tired.
Milking it in a gameplay or in a stream sense?
Just right now in this moment, I'm milking the moment for no reason. But
does your filter have nets in? Are you doing anything? Are you actually doing bestiary in the race?
Yes, I use it to stun the beasts. I don't actually use the beast crafting that much. I crafted
just
one axe with it.
Overriding them. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like I just have the best strong net showing and the therma nets and the necro nets. I don't know why, just in case.
Two days into this race, I've already caught a beast that I hadn't caught in 2 months in Bestiary, which is the crab portal guy.
The crab
Like,
portal
I
guy?
have no
Ooh,
yeah, I have no idea who he
nice.
is, but he was super scary looking. He looked like one of them spider crabs that like the Japanese people
Oh yeah, the
eat.
crab barrier thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Those
I
guys.
want
Yeah,
it.
they're so
Scary.
tanky, aren't they?
It
They
scared
were
the
for
shit
me.
out of me. Yeah. Fuck,
Yeah.
man.
But yeah, I've had a
Ramparts.
few spooks here and there. Like earlier on the quiet stream, I had to log out because I was in a room. I trapped myself in a room full of bears, and I couldn't tell if my pinky toe, like my big toe, was right on top of the bears or not. And I was like, well, just in case, and I just logged out, and I logged back in, and I was still alive, which was good.
Are you playing hardcore?
Oh yeah, SSF hardcore.
Okay.
Yep.
Another humble brag. You're welcome. I set you up for that one. What level are you? Right now?
Like
I thought it was on
89.
purpose.
85? Wow,
89.
89? Oh, you're beating me and you're hardcore. And you're logging out half the bloody game. That's impressive.
Yeah. And
Half the
it's
time you're not playing.
half
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. But I was fighting a back Sith. I wasn't really fighting him, I was running away from him. That was my way of fighting him. And I found a safe corner and I was like, well, it's time to log out. And I hit my macro. It wasn't up. I forgot to load it up. I was like, oh boy, because I had gone into a corner like a genius, and then I had to go back past him throughout the rest of the map to get away from him, basically, which was really scary. He has all the flame blasts and lightning and ice and everything.
He's quite intimidating, but I think personally he's less scary than Bemeth. And then Bemeth is also not scary that much anymore since they gave him the new
he
DD.
he takes like a year to detonate dead. Plus I have a ruby flask. So I've got like 80 something % fire res. I know that's a really good number. So specific. It's barbarism plus ruby flask, so 7% over. So like 82.
That's the part where you lose me. Like gear and passive nodes, I got nothing. But
it's just like bringing up the capped fire res, because that saves you from volatiles. It saves you from detonate dead. Like if you have the abominations, the little.
The detonate dead is half physical, half fire though.
Yeah, but I have a basalt flask and a granite flask too.
Oh, okay.
And I have endurance charges, and I'm a fucking gladiator with Duresso's armor because I chanced that. Okay. So I have endurance charges all the time, which gives me another 10% physical reduction overall, which is just insane.
What's your main skill? Like what's
Sunder.
what are you?
I'm just being an asshole. Yeah. Sundre. Yeah.
Bet you're loving that.
Oh yeah.
You're not allowed to humble brag anymore. Some of people aren't allowed to humble brag. That's not allowed. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, would you
Rescinding that.
prefer Reeve? Like, I mean,
I'd
Reeve
much
is better,
rather,
I think.
like, Spectral
But
Throw, Gladiator. that'd
Spectral
be good.
Throw. I think
Do that.
Spectral Throw would be pretty good, honestly.
I just picked the first skill. I have no idea if that'd work
Yeah.
out. I'm just picking shit.
It
You
probably
should
would
do
work.
Lightning Arrow, Gladiator. That'd be great.
Vaal Skills doesn't work really that well with the block. Like,
I mean,
could
they
use
did
a
say-
rear
I don't
guard.
know. I'm just gonna
They-
I'm gonna skip ahead to Vaal Skills.
Well, I'm not even
go
using block Catmaster. I don't have any block on my. I've got like 15% block. Actually, more because of prismatic eclipse. But
Are you actually trying to get a demigod type of thing?
oh yeah,
I mean,
I'm going
I
for
say
number
that
one.
when you're at like
I'm
whatever
taking-
rank you're at. That was
Yeah,
a stupid question.
I'm taking the
but
number one spot, man.
Are you? Not
Oh,
yet
yeah.
though.
Not yet, no.
Well,
I'm
what are you
taking my
doing?
time with it.
How are you gonna
I'm
get
having
there?
a.
What's
I'm
your
having-
strategy?
I say you're gonna
my
die to the
strategy.
Belfry boss.
How are you
To
gonna
the
get all your
Belfry
XP?
boss?
See that immense stepping I did to get that someone's
Well,
question in chat answered?
I'm gonna take a map and I'm gonna put it in my map device.
What map? What map? Are you doing
What
breach
map?
stones, or are you gonna try and get the
No,
harbinger?
no, I'm not
thing?
gonna do. I removed breach splinters from my fucking filter
Why?
because they clutter the screen and kill
And
me.
there's so much to pick up. I hate it. And it's like
You just
last
skip-
Mayhem, I missed so much. Like I wasted so much time picking up splinters, like chain farming breach maps every time. And it's just in the end, I never ran the splinters. And even if I ran them, it would have been a waste of time over running tier 11 maps. And it's just not
Yeah, I'm
worth
gonna-
picking them up unless you really need an item from the breaches. Or like
Yeah, I'm
Play
gonna try
hardcore
to.
as well.
Yeah.
solo self on
Yeah.
hardcore, yeah.
You're all terrible people. Okay, continue.
Bah.
Sorry.
No, it's just
What were you
it's
saying?
just really that I don't have the friends or the organization or the skills or the computer that could perform with more than 10 FPS in a party setting to play in a trade league and to actually compete, and that's pretty much the reason. I also don't really like the idea of having to be good at trading in order to be successful and competitive in those trade leagues.
Mm.
So
I want like solo self-found except with groups.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
like,
group self-found would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
6-man solo self-found. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, just trade within your group or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, and then you'd
Some
have to
people do
barter,
that.
and yeah, it would be awesome. But
I
it's
mean,
like
I don't trust any of my friends, quote unquote friends, internet friends. I don't trust any of them not to trade. You could do it in a trade league, but someone's going to cheat, and they're all bastards.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
see your strat, waifu. You've got the Chinese racer strat going, except they all died, and this is a bad analogy. But you're going to wait for everyone ahead of you to die, and then you're going to win. That's
Well,
just
like I look at it like as the how do you? I don't even know the like a good metaphor or analogy for this.
the
but
tortoise and the hare, except the hare
Yeah.
killed himself by getting hit by a truck, and the tortoise is just sitting there putting his maps in his map thing and farming whatever map he wants
Yeah.
to farm.
Well, I was thinking more or less how like never mind. It's fucking bad. I'm not even gonna say
Do it.
I'm not even
I
gonna-
love that
No, it's
analogy.
like-
Go on. Go on.
like you know how like if you're hunting, I don't really hunt, but my dad used to hunt. And so like you would shoot the deer or you would get it with like a bow or whatever.
I'm really done.
And normally what you would do is you would like this analogy is bad. Like I don't even want to go on with it, but whatever. So like if you try to go after the deer, it keeps running and it keeps bleeding everywhere and it bleeds out faster. So if I figure like in the race, if I'm behind people and I'm just slowly, crawling up on them or whatever, they're just going to be like, oh shit. And they're going to try to go faster. There's a better analogy for it though. There's a better metaphor for it all, but I can't remember.
a meta metaphor.
Yeah, metaphor. Yeah. Something like that.
I can't think of anything.
I don't
That was
know,
a
it's
really
good.
shit analogy. Way to
I know. I
derail the
told
entire
you I
chain
didn't want
thought.
to. I told you.
Goddamn.
You asked for it.
You solo self-found players sure are the worst. I'm sorry.
Solo self-found rhetoric.
Yeah.
I love solo self-found.
But
I hate
anyway,
hardcore.
like there are only like 4 people ahead of me, I think, right now. I don't know. I'd have to check. But actually, someone else can check. It looks like I'm number 7 right
lazy.
now.
Well, if anything, you're constantly losing places by not playing. So I hope to
Yeah,
draw this
but I
out.
mean, I've got a rest too, so it's fine. Like I'm
Yeah,
number 27 overall. I'm fine. I'll
yeah.
go down to
You're a higher number overall than I am within my ascendancy class.
fuck.
And I'm playing Ascendant.
Shit.
But yeah,
It could be good.
if you want to go on about, did you have any close calls, waifu?
Oh yeah, I've had plenty.
Plenty.
Yeah, I have at least 2 every stream.
Holy
That's
shit.
pretty
How many
exciting.
times have you done your like emergency macro thing?
Oh, a bunch. Like at least, I'd say probably, I want to say anywhere from 13 to 27 times.
Oh, you need a tracker for that because those things are basically a death in like softcore because it's the same amount of time you've lost dying and coming back kind of thing and like using your thing. I've died like 60 times. That's why I don't play hardcore because I'm shit. But
Well, I mean,
yeah.
it takes practice, and like if you're in hardcore, you play differently, like just a little bit. Like you adapt, just like anything else in life.
You'd actually have block chance and stuff as opposed to
Yeah.
none.
I don't have
Yeah.
any block chance really, but
Well, that was a bad example.
I
Thank
know,
you for
I know.
that.
I'm just giving you a
I
fucking
get
hard
to
time,
know.
man.
It's fine. Fuck you. No,
I'm practicing.
it's great. Practicing for what? Hating people, going to Australia? You're going to fit right in if you're an absolute dick. Getting there. You're getting
you
better.
got
You're
bush.
not there yet. You're still too nice. I'll fix that. Don't worry.
I just noticed
Oh, we lost Catmaster.
gone.
He's gone.
Invisible.
No, my
He's
cushion
entered
from the
cloak mode.
headphones
Oh no.
fell off. Oh, that's way better.
There's nothing there to hold it. You don't have any hair.
No, actually not.
Is that by choice or is this like, am I getting into personal details?
Well, it's largely by choice. Basically, if you, I don't know, you don't see the quality camera from the podcast, but basically, like this part in the back here where you see like short hair, that's by choice, and then the part in the front here where there's no hair growing, that's not really by choice. That's
Yeah, I hide that with like a massive fringe.
I've got like a really high hairline.
Yeah.
Like if
you look like a
I actually push,
rock star.
Like people are like, WaifuGate, you're gonna go bald soon, but like this has been the same since I've been like 12. Like I've just never had hair there.
I look like
just never
Dave
really.
Yeah.
You look like nice.
That's my massive fringe. Great.
Yeah, I like
Nice.
it.
The
I
rockstar
I
look.
like it.
Rockstar. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm into that sort of look simply because I'm
Same
jealous
thing.
that
You're
I
into
can't.
it? I'm gonna have to fucking shave my head.
You're gonna shave your head and shave your head anyway.
Yeah, I know.
That's
All
what
I
you
need is
said.
another $960 for charity, and I'll do it. I don't know. Pulled that number out of my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can promote
wanna-
your little
Sounded
charity
good.
project there.
Yeah. Give me money and I'll shave my head. It's for charity, lol. It's at ×2 though. It's money for charity, and then I'll give my hair to a cancer patient. And so some little lady out there is going to look fucking fabulous with all of these locks as a wig.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Do you know that
That's my
Project PT also gave his hair to charity?
Well, now
Before
I
he
don't want to
shaved
do
his
it because everything I do, I get compared to that suit-wearing bastard.
Suit wearing. Okay.
Sorry, I watched his stream. I didn't like it. I don't know. I don't get the comparison was by looks, and now I look nothing like him. He's ginger and he lives in an art gallery. There's nothing in common there. I don't see it. And he's terrible at the game. Yeah, he's been gone for however many billions of years, but he's pretty goddamn trash. I'm sorry. I shouldn't shit on the one thing that everyone likes, but I just don't like it. I'm sorry. I gotta keep saying sorry. I gotta say sorry so many times because there's so many lurker like PT watchers in the crowd. You just don't know where they are. They're gonna strike at any moment. TOS reporting bastards. Sorry. Yes. How was your flashback start?
I thought
Catman?
you'd never ask.
I was
I
waiting.
thought we were just gonna talk about waifu's non-existing block chance.
He's been humble bragging for so
and
long.
your
Come on,
rockstar
it's your
hair.
turn.
I haven't even said anything for like 4 minutes.
Quiet, you humble bragger. Go ahead, Cat.
So let me humble brag a little bit. So basically, I was planning to not play for the weekend. So there was 2 reasons. One was the real reason, and one is the reason that I could, pretend to have as a reason because I'm such a nice guy or something like that. But let me just be straight. Like, the real reason was a friend of mine who has been traveling Europe came back pretty much on that Friday and was asking whether he could stay over on his journey back to the Netherlands. And I was like, yeah, sure, because I value human and real life interactions a lot. And if just recently.
That's good. I'm just sorry. Go ahead.
No, I
What's the
actually
favorite?
canceled a lot of things and made a lot of plans so I could play this race. But then when I was put to the spot, I was like, okay, fuck it, I'm not gonna play the race. So I was already mentally prepared to only start tomorrow, and that's why when I suddenly realized, oh, I have time to play because my friend went to bed real early when he stayed over here, and then he wanted to leave the next morning again because I'm such a bad host. No, because he wanted to really get on with getting back to the Netherlands and stuff. I just I just played very casually. I didn't really race hard or anything. I just played like 7 hours on League Start and got to Act 7 or something like that. Playing it really safe and getting Kadiro deals. I got, I think, a gold rim, for which I had to go back and farm coins. That wasn't submerged already. And I don't think I have any other Kadiro deals, to be honest. But I farmed some zones with Kadiro here and there in order to get good deals, but it just didn't happen. And I got a Cloak of Flame. That was pretty nice. And then when I arrived at Blood Aqueducts, basically yesterday or something like that. Yesterday or today? Yesterday. I think I arrived at Blood Aqueducts yesterday. I just ran 2. And then today I've only been farming Blood Aqueducts. And before I reached level 74, I had my full set of humility. So I'm rocking a Tabula instead of the Cloak of Flame now. Feels amazing, man. I did my Merciless Lab. And I'm still top 40 of my own Ascendancy, which is kind of shameful. But at the same time, assuming that I only start my race tomorrow, it's a nice head start.
Yeah.
When you take into account that I wasn't going to start in the weekend. I think it's still okay in the context of a 25-day race to miss the first weekend. I mean, you miss out on a little bit more than 10% of the overall time. But if you think of all the people that reached level 90 already and died, like, yeah, of course they have a little bit of leveling gear, but in the end they didn't build up that much of an advantage over me just slowly creeping through the game.
Well, I mean, that, and you have to consider, like, not everyone can just play, almost every day or whatever. Too.
Exactly,
like,
yeah. No one can play the game full-time as much, or not everyone. So, maybe we can still push. Yeah. So I'm playing Blade Vortex Ethereal Knives on Ascendant, mixing the two Ascendancies, Slayer and Assassin, for a nice Culling Strike, Power Charge generation, a little bit of flat crit. And yeah, basically because I've been playing so slow and over leveling so hard, I had a level 18 Blade Vortex when I went into Kitava and Merciless Lab, and both been just really a joke. I mean, 6 link, level 18 gem. Not really much they could do.
Yeah, I only died like 7 times in Kitava. You did it deathless. That's really impressive.
No, I portal cheesed it. Like, I portaled out twice and I skipped most of the phases because I did insane damage with 20 Blade Vortex stacks. Have you ever leveled with Blade Vortex?
I don't even know what that is.
It's a skill?
Oh, I get that. 1 sec, let me Google it.
Well, I can explain it, but I'm sure you've seen it before.
It's like, probably a vortex of blades. Is it that one where it spins around and goes up to 20 stacks?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. How do you level with that? Without cast speed, how do you get enough stacks for it to do damage?
Skill effect duration. Like, that's why I do it as an ascendant, and that's why I hate doing it as a shadow, and why I only mightily like doing it as a witch. Is if you get both skill effect duration clusters next to Scion, your Blade Vortex stacks last almost 10 seconds.
Is it a manual? Is there a way to make it not a manual cast?
There's no need to. It's okay.
Damage. I just
Yeah,
hate
technically
sitting
there is, but I
channeling
don't know any automation. What I always thought it would be interesting to do it with Kitava's Thirst in a way that you'd either automate EK via casting Blade Vortex or vice versa. So that you play an EK build that runs around and EKs everything and builds up Blade Vortex stacks that way. Or that you play a BV build that randomly shoots out EKs while you cast.
Is that the big axe weapon?
No, Kitava's Thirst is
Kitava's-
that
What's
is the helmet that gives you a 30% chance to cast socketed skills when you spend a total of 200 mana or something like that. So you
I just
have
realized I'm acting as the Twitch chat. I know nothing about this game, and this is great. Sorry, yeah. What is it? What do you have to do? What helmet? Kitava's Thirst?
yeah.
Keep going. I'm listening. Go on. It's great. I'm learning stuff.
Yeah, so there is a helmet in the game
Uh-huh.
that casts the gems that are socketed into the helmet when you spend a total of 200 mana
Oh,
casting other stuff. So you
Sounds
can
great.
automate curses with that, or like pretty much
And that-
anything that you don't need to be reliable because it has only a 30% chance to cast.
and that doesn't
Frost
work
bomb,
with
stuff
channeling.
like that.
No, it
Does it
doesn't
work
work
with
with
channeling?
channeling. As far as I know, like you'd have to stop channeling in between. I think I'm not sure. I've never tried it.
I could probably do some fun flicker stuff with that. Oh, God.
If
damn
you
it,
make your
now
flicker strike cost
amazing.
200 mana, yeah.
I need a shit ton of mana, and I need a shit ton of mana regen, and I need a way to sustain frenzy charge. What's the other thing that I got confused with? There's a Kitava axe or something that
Yeah.
Kitava,
I don't know its
something-
name though.
Kitava's
Kitava's
feet.
hungry.
Feast,
Fig,
yeah.
feast, that's the one. Yeah, that could be done with. I just want to make a Kitava flicker build now. I love flicker so much.
Oh yeah, that
Sorry.
would be pretty cool to include the helmet and the weapon too. Like if you could
Yeah,
get away
just
with that.
stack uniques. People love it when you stack uniques in builds. It's great. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make my very first build guide. I'm gonna make a shit mirror item that you have to mirror in order for it to work. Cough cough. Fuck Demi. I said it. Fuck Demi. Anyway, I'm glad I snuck that in there. Yeah. Anyone else want to say something? Yeah.
I was more interested in the main thought process of what you wanted to
Oh.
say. It seems that you wanted to sneak that in.
Are
but-
there any other Kitava weapons I can put in this really shit flicker build? A Kitava like themed uniques? I don't know. Fucking first time hearing of it. I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna get out of that tab. That's really blinding. Are there any other Kitava weapons?
I don't know whether there's any other Kitava items, to be honest. I've never looked into that. But I think those are the only two with Kitava in the name. I might be wrong though.
I know nothing, so I'm not the one to ask. But yeah, Kitava's feast. We just said that, but okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're
Sorry.
talking about Feast and Thirst.
Mm.
I read maybe there's a Kitava unique in the future, but then
So are you
we'll
doing
be able to see.
Bestiary at all, Catmaster, with your leveling? Are you using?
Oh, that's a
Bestiary
good
capturing-
question. No, I think the general consensus in the racing is just you do capture the big roar and mudflats and 3 mini roars, and you capture the fawn in the climb and 3 goats, and then you craft move speed boots and you craft adrenaline flask, and then you throw bestiary out of the window and go ham.
I've been having to go back to the mudflats every 2 hours to capture that rower, so I can use him in the prophecies, get 5 free prophecies or whatever like that, and just churning through prophecies. Because
nice.
I don't know which one it is.
That's a nice one.
What's God, whatever the prophecy quest lines are, where you can get like certain unique items. There's a unique item that gives you like quantity if you have a magic item equipped, and in Trade
The
League those
ascetic.
things cost like
the
2x.
ascetic.
Yes,
The
that's it.
ascetic is the name of the
I
amulet.
have no idea what quest prophecy related. I think it's prophecy related. I have to do it, and I don't want to Google it to find out. But I'm pretty sure it's one of those quest chains I need to do. So I'm just churning through prophecies, and I'm just gonna hope I'm gonna hit it at some point and be really happy with myself. So I'll have quantity. And everyone knows quantity's better, is it? Or maybe it's rarity. Who knows? That's a segue. That's your job. Go on. Go on. I don't know. How
About
long's it
that.
been?
So there's a general consensus in the community, apparently, or like that's always what I thought, and that's also what I reproduced as knowledge, is that quantity does affect everything, while rarity only affects the rarity of tiers. And then recently, because Zizaran challenged him to do that, SlipperyJim made a test between item quantity and item rarity. SlipperyJim, do you wanna
SlipperyJim.
do you wanna tell us about your experiment there before I say anything wrong? Like,
apparently, that's all you need to know.
Okay, that's the result. But what do you do?
That's the result. That's the news. Spread it far and wide. Rarity's better. Announcing it here from this day forward. Don't look at the scientific evidence. Fake news.
It's fake results.
It's not a fake result. It's a real result. How dare you? Don't vaccinate your kids. Rarity is better. The Earth is flat. Too true to tell lie. No. Yeah, it's just a weird anomaly. I did like quantity. What was it? Okay. It was a bad result because Bisco was used on one of them and Bisco wasn't used on one of them. But as we said earlier, which I don't know if that was in the pre-discussion, probably not, it was skewed. It was skewed in the favor of quantity, like the test, because I had a Bisco's on in the quantity, but not in the rarity. I'm tapping at my desk so I can think what I'm trying to say. In the quantity run, I did quantity and a little bit of rarity. And in the rarity run, I did no quantity and a lot of rarity. And somehow rarity dropped more currency. But div cards more dropped with quantity, and so it was worth more money in that specific instance to do quantity. But excluding that, I said rarity was better, and it made everyone lose their minds. Even though it wasn't, if they watched like 2 seconds after that, I said, but div cards and quantity is better. But in that split instance, where currency
it's
more,
an interesting result regardless, because as we see up there, like in terms of raw currency drops, like you said, rarity was almost exclusively better, like with the exception of baubles and alterations, if I remember correctly.
I just like all the lower tiered currency was better for quantity, and the higher tier currency was better for rarity. And some people took that as in rarity increases currency tiers. I didn't take that at all from
I didn't.
outcome. And people have done tests for that. And it's kind of like if you're going to run a test with the idea of trying to prove something, no matter what, you're going to prove what you're trying to prove because that's your mindset kind of thing. Someone has gone in wanting to prove that, and his results have come out proving it. That's fair enough. He's like, oh, it must be tiered now. But no, if you just do science, which I didn't do. I didn't do science. It's not real. It's RNG. It does, none of it makes sense. It's stupid to try and predict shit that doesn't make any sense like that. But people just take what they want out of it, don't they? They're all a bunch of bastards. But no, like I love the fact that doing something so stupid has sparked such a conversation and so many people going out and doing their own things for it. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, I also like that the people are actually talking about this.
Community. Yeah. Shit, I didn't know there was good community in this game. I thought it was all hatred and hardcore's better and all that craps. Oh no, I'm just kidding. It's great.
It did definitely spark a lot of conversation for sure. Yeah, controversy. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
If I were to do that test, because I've gotten about, I don't know, like a couple hundred maybe people that have come into my stream asking, like, you know, what do you think about this currency test? Because usually I'm an MF person for softcore. I usually don't play hardcore.
Yeah, WaifuGate is like the MF guru.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Of his community.
But like the same conversation would come up, and like people who have been in my stream, you know, within the last week or so already kind of know what I'm going to say anyway. It's come up a lot. And basically what happened, like the reason why I didn't really like the test that you did was because there's too much variance in it. So what I would do in that case, because like even if you alchemap, let's say you alchemap, right? Because you alched and went, right? You alchemap and it says, you know, I have 10% pack size or 15% pack size, right? And you've got another map that says 20% pack size. So the pack sizes are obviously different, right? Because one's 15, one's 20. And then there's even more variance to that because you've got undead monsters, you've got humanoids. That'll change the pack size too. just because of how those monsters work and how they spawn and whatnot. They change, and it's all different. So you have 500 maps where like everything's just a little different. Whether you're doing item quantity or rarity, those maps could just be different just because of how RNG worked with those.
Yeah, but don't you
And there's
think
a
that
lot
would
of
even out in like the big grand scheme of 500 maps?
not in 500, probably not. I don't know. There can be a lot of sway here and there. But I think that if I were to do a test like that, I wouldn't run Biscos even on the item quantity side. I would just run a Shaper Amulet with like 10%, and then in the rarity, same thing, 30%. And then I would go probably 2,000 white atoll maps. I wouldn't elk or anything. And I would skip breaches, I would skip boxes, and I'd skip abysses, anything that could add more monsters to the map that the other maps wouldn't have. And then you would just have your raw item quantity and your raw item rarity for that many maps. And I think
wanted to redo it. Sorry for interrupting. I wanted to
Oh, no,
redo
go
it, and I've been like, I want to do it, and then this flashback race got announced. I'm like, fuck, I can't do it in flashback because
Right.
there's so many billions of things that are going to mess with it. But if the next, which they've said is going to be something like Breach, if it's going to be something like Breach or Abyss where it can be avoided in a map, I could definitely do it next league. Like, do what you want to do, white maps, not fucky results, no, skip all the shit. But it's not just, I don't want me to be the one to do it because everyone knows I'm shit at the game and I've got user error and all that crap. I'd want to open it up, let everyone else submit their own results, because it doesn't matter if I do 2,000 maps or 20,000 maps. If I can get enough different samples from other people, whether they've done 100 or whether they've done 200, and different enough results, nothing with hybrid. Like, I think having like some quantity and some rarity is only going to like absolutely confuse the fuck out of everyone. But if someone goes, I want to do 100 atolls and I want to do 20 quantity because that's all I can do, then that's great. Give me your numbers and we'll put it all in a big spreadsheet. And I won't even say what I think's better. I'll just let nerds. I'll let statistics people like you. I'll let the smart people figure out what's going on. That's the grand plan. But keep going with what you were saying, how to make it better and whatnot.
Well, yeah, the important part about that is that everyone knows that they're doing white maps and they're not elking and they're not doing hybrid or anything like that. Like, everyone has to be on the same exact page. Otherwise, if someone submits data that's not that, if they elk their maps or whatever, or they ran a different map altogether, like they didn't do a toll, they did something else, but then they still submit it into the same spreadsheet. The problem with statistics is that they're all fucking different. All of these currency tests that people have done in the past, people are running different item rarity, people are running different amounts of item quantity, people are using sextants, some people are voling, some people are putting breach on. And if you try to compare what we have had in the past with like breach and everything else, you've even seen it with this league that we just had, where everyone was like, dude, why are the elks so expensive on software? It's because we don't have breach, for one. It's not that the item rarity, like the item rate has like dropped significantly for elks. It's just that we don't have double the amount of monsters in the maps anymore. And it's just, data is just so hard to work with. Like, it's just rough because statistics. Oh, go ahead.
The one thing I want, and this is not, I'm never going to get this, but I've seen it in a random fuck off GGG comment. I think it was by Bex or something like that. They said they've got a version of the game that is basically a simulator to test. They were talking about it when they said that they were testing Abyss liches showing up. They've got a simulator they can run and go print out all the loot for 2,000 maps and show me how many liches are going to show up. They've got a version of it. If I could just get my hands on that, I could pump out so many YouTube videos without any effort. But,
no, you wouldn't be playing the game anymure.
They wouldn't. I know I wouldn't, but it'd be fun for the maths and stuff. But they wouldn't give you something. They would never give me something like that. I'd abuse it so quick. No, they wouldn't. They don't want to tell us. That's the point. And all this figuring it out for ourselves, we're never going to get a definite answer. I mean, we'll get close, maybe. But it's RNG still.
Yeah, I think if we had enough people like doing the tests and everyone on the same board, as far as, white maps doing this, doing that, everyone doing the same thing, even though it's boring, just to get numbers. And that would sort of give us some numbers, but there's still even more, like there's still going to be some variance for RNG. You know what I mean? Like, you can go like 100 maps without seeing a doctor, and then like or like 100's not even that much. You can go like 300 without seeing a doctor. Then on your 301st map, you drop a doctor, and then your 302nd map, you drop a doctor, and then your 600 maps dry again. Like, it's so heavily RNG based. You never know when you're going to drop that like orb of annulment or orb like Exalt orb. Like, you just never really know, even if you do a lot of number crunching. It kind of gives you a little bit of an idea. Oh, go ahead.
It was never supposed to be scientific. Like, from any other content on my YouTube it's never scientific. It's under the guise of, hey, we did 100 of this map. I wonder if it's profitable. It always is, because mapping is profitable. It's never scientific. And I've already said, I love the fact that it's got a conversation going, but everyone's coming to me and going, but why didn't you do this? And how come you don't know the answers?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's glorious.
Just like, it's a meme, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
But Catmaster actually said that one of my videos that I made for YouTube, he thought that it was like a tribute to some of the tests that you've been doing and stuff. It was
Waifu handed in 420
I've seen more of them
cards.
popping up. Yeah, 420. Fuck.
Yeah, 420.
I'm gonna do 900
humilities.
It's gonna be great.
Nice.
900.
I wonder what I'll get.
You have still those that you bought from a viewer of mine?
I merged them. Well, once standard merges, I'll have 900 in standard, and then I'll hand them all in and Vaal them all, and I'll hate myself for every moment of it.
Yeah.
Most likely.
I named the ones that I evolved.
You named them?
I named them, yep.
Why would you? I gotta watch a shitty video. I mean, a great video. I gotta watch the video now.
It's really shitty. It's really awful.
Well, that's good.
But, yeah. The thumbnail's pretty awful too.
But I don't care, honestly, about the quantity versus rarity. From like everyone, as you said, everyone's tests, everyone's doing different tests and different results and all that stuff. But either way, in the tests where someone has done base versus quantity versus rarity, like this one of 2000 blood aqueducts, I don't care that quantity, pretty much as expected, has more currency drops than rarity, because that's the game mechanics. But still, runs with rarity are popping up more currency, generically speaking, than runs without anything. And the fact that that's the one interesting thing that I've taken away from all of this, that someone who's stacking increased item rarity is getting more currency drops than someone who has nothing. And it's just because it's not supposed to have an effect. And that's, if I was going to focus on something and do 20,000, God rest my soul, I'll be dead at that point, specifically white maps, doing your tactic, that would take literally 7 months on a good day, on a good consecutive 7 months of days.
On a good day.
That'd take so fucking long, and I wouldn't do it ever. But if I did, I'd want to do rarity versus flat nothing, because from all the small time tests, it looks like it has an effect when it shouldn't.
Yeah,
I'd say if you could. Oh, sorry.
No, I just wanted to say that's an interesting question, but I didn't know you were going to say something, so please go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you did that on like an auto bomber where you could do like 45-second maps or like a minute maps, like if you picked a map that was just easy to do, like from one point to the next, like a toll where you just go up and down the lanes and you skip the boss room or something, and you skip all the abysses.
I'd need 4 bitch boys to be in my party. I'll clear the map, and then they go through and pick everything up, and I'll just cycle through bitch boys. And maps,
yeah, that would work.
It's the stopping to pick stuff up is the thing. As someone suggested, like, you could program a script to look for filter options and make it count for you. I'm like, that sounds like borderline cheating, but it's just stopping to pick up the shit is half the bloody battle with this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, especially if you want to pick up everything, so like, or as much as possible that you cannot take out of the 6 portals in order to make it representative, and then you're still actually prioritizing, right? I mean, you can't possibly take everything that drops in the map through the 6 portals, so you're actually skewing the results a little bit.
Could. If it white maps and just currency, and we're not stacking quants, so we probably could pick up all the currency items, not necessarily.
Well, yeah. What about 6 sockets?
No, I mean screw 6 sockets because that's not currency. It's items.
Okay.
They're not. They're set. We could pick up every item and sell it for currency. We're not counting that. We're just doing currency. Like if we were gonna do waifus and everyone else, 10,000 people have told me I've done it wrong suggestions with white maps and
I would probably consider. I'd probably consider the 6 sockets though still. Because those transfer directly to 7 jewelers, so that's the only thing.
They're items, though. That's like I'd consider this one item dropping. Because then if I get a Skyforth, I could sell it for exalts.
Well, that's not a vendor trade.
It's not a vendor trade, but also like I would still probably count that toward rarity. But I don't know. It's RNG. Fuck, everything's RNG. So I wouldn't
count it just specifically to the point of people want to know currency. Fuck div cards. Fuck items. Div cards are technically currency. Fuck them. Just stuff you can use. Orbs. That's how I'd do it. But I don't have 7 months free, despite the fact that I look like a homeless man and have nothing better to do with my time. I still want to play races and leagues and stuff.
Yeah. You still get other goals, not just this one.
I've had people help me with previous things, like when I've done a lot of farming and stuff like that. I've had helpers that do 100 maps each and stuff when it's not related to quantity farming, like 1,000 cells. I didn't do 1,000 cells. I would have killed myself. But stuff like that. I've got some bitch boys, but they don't want to do 10,000 white maps.
To do some cells for you.
Actually,
those are probably some of the best people in the world.
Cells is an amazing map. It takes 500 maps to realize it's an amazing map, and the other guy that did like 450 cells, he loves cells now, and I can convert anyone, I bet you. You should farm, you should shape your atlas for cells. Oh my god, it is amazing. The density, they've nerfed it, I bet you. When they changed the div card drops from like Spider Forest, like, oh, people, too many headhunters. When they changed the wretched that used to drop in cells, it was like hotcakes. And I did like 50 cells, and I'm getting shit all. GGG, I know what you did, and I'm disappointed. I want my wretched cards back. The density is amazing, and there's no div cards. I'm upset. But apart from that, yeah. God damn, man, cells.
Still
sorry, I've derailed it.
Well, it depends on the build that you're running, right? I mean, cells, if you don't have a problem running it, if you're playing Flicker, like you said.
No, it was RF. I walked into every room individually. I opened all the doors. I had shield charge. I had to open every door, and it was beautiful. And I loved half of it. The first half I hated, and the second half was just beautiful, fun. God, man, maybe I've got Stockholm syndrome or something. But
yeah, that's how it sounds like.
It was fun.
It was fun.
I don't know what league it was, but it was fun.
Well, which league was it?
Stockholm League.
I don't know. Yeah, Stockholm League. If they just have a league, Flashback is so much fun. Just
Harbinger League.
It might no, it wasn't. But if they just go, hey, we're skipping a league. Here's the next league with ×7 the density in every map. Have fun. If they just did that, I'd be so happy. You know, I'd be okay with that. That's basically what Abyss League is, or Breach League. It's like they didn't, I mean, Breach, I guess they put more effort into, but Abyss was like shit all, no offense, game devs, yes, it's a lot of effort and stuff, and there's 3D art and all that crap, but Abyss didn't, it's like a couple of RNG and stuff, but just do like more okay, I'm not even finishing my sentences, I'm upset, go ahead.
I liked Abyss, I really liked Abyss a lot.
No, I mean, Abyss is great, but I mean, it's not like Bestiary and the amount of effort they've put into creating all the art and items, and well, they didn't make the monsters. Look at the pretty colors in the menagerie, the voice acting. They put so much effort into it, and it's something people don't like. Just times the density by 10. Don't do anything else to the game. Release standard. Call it standard on crack or something, and that's the league name. And it's just standard, except 10 standards in one. Density-wise, you open up Tidal Isle, you come into Twilight Strand, and there's 10 hillocks there waiting with fucking baseball bats to beat your kneecaps in. I'd love that. I'd love watching Ziz die to fucking Act 1. God, man, that'd be the best league ever.
Just bring back merciless difficulty.
Oh man.
Just bring back
No.
exiles everywhere, man. That
You
shit
do
was
it
so
like
funny.
you encounter a
Cutthroat.
breach. Chayula shows up, except it's Chayula and 9 of his friends, and they kick your ass. That'd be great.
Did you ever play in those, Jim?
Like
Where they had
Cutthroat?
a cutthroat, yeah.
I did one Cutthroat because I wanted the achievement to kill another man. And I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go full freezing pulse. And I murdered the first man I found, and it felt great. And he came back for his items, and I was waiting there. I'm like, come on, son, I've got the bloodlust. But no, I gave him all his stuff back, and he killed me, and he was very happy. But why does Jim not speak as fast as in his videos? I need a topic, that's why. And I need to make breathing room for these guys. This isn't a fucking horse race. I'm not an announcer.
But yeah, I'm glad I was able to that we were able. I mean, Catmaster talked too, but
implying that I didn't prepare topics and that we need
I
you
had
to
to
give
scroll
us
up
space
through
because we
all of
don't have the strength, the masculinity to take our space.
I scrolled up through all of Waifu's shitty goddamn clips he linked me to find the topics. That's what I'm sitting on. I've got the topics right here. I'm really looking forward to the next one. Something I know absolutely nothing about. It's going to be an absolute blast.
Well, that's why we still want to talk a little bit, because you cut into Bestiary a little bit, and
I'll
we
go.
already
Yeah,
had
well,
that.
you put it at number 1 and you skipped it. You asked about the flat. How did you enjoy?
Well, the
Bestiary?
flashback, the most recent thing, and the thing is, Bestiary we all talked about on the last podcast, but we haven't heard your opinion on it, and
Oh god.
and you asked both of us.
I...
Are we doing beast crafting in the race? And you said a little bit about that you're doing beast crafts to fill up your prophecies. But in general, how did you like Bestiary, and how do you see it going into the game? And do you more feel like killing yourself, or more feel like playing the game a lot more because Bestiary?
If you saw my prismatic eclipse video, you can say that I hate Bestiary from this point onwards because I'm done with it. No, it's great. I love the small things that you can do with it that people didn't think of doing, like that guy from Octavian's guild that is made of 40 chaos haunted mansion that he keeps mirroring because it's on the perfect roll. It's like back when people spent exalts on maps when I didn't play the game, all those mystical ages of Eternals dropping naturally and all that shit. People spending all this money to make a map and then mirroring it because it's so goddamn good. People are doing that with Bestiary. That type of stuff. I don't give a shit if there's 500 recipes to make an int wand. GGG. Hide that shit. I mean, it's great for these type of solo self-found scrubs. It's like I need int on my gloves so I can equip a better skill. I don't give a shit. I'll buy it from Trade League. It's great. I want that niche shit. That's like, hey, we're going to full link your wand. Blah, it's not allowed, but it's like a small mechanic that someone hasn't figured out, like the thing I abused to get all those white prismatics. I didn't farm 400 albino rollers. I would have killed myself way before that. Of course, there's a small recipe in there that I abused to make a shit ton of white sockets that people didn't think of apparently, and I'm still abusing it, and you can't stop me. I love the small things.
I want to explain what you're exploiting there?
No, it's a secret, and I will control the market forever.
Isn't it in your video?
No, it's a secret, and I'll control the market forever. Why would I reveal secrets that I could control the market? Here's my opinion of Bestiary. It's crap, but I love it. Don't remove it. Put it in standard, because there's a thing in it that is only possible to do. You can't do it in Bestiary, and it's only possible to do if it gets merged, and I've already kind of bought the first part necessary. So if GGG could make it go core so I can make one more good meme in my lifetime, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be amazing. People are going to go, it's going to be so good if it goes core. That'd be great. I love it. Put
one
it in.
more good meme in my lifetime.
They put too much into the voice acting and mechanically and everything for that not to go standard. So I'm pretty sure you're stunned, man.
Oh my god, yes. All I need is 40,000 chaos, which I'm pretty sure I've got. It's going to be great. You're going to love it.
Yeah, 40,000 isn't too much for standard, where you get so much trickle down from all the leagues. You probably have it.
Do any of you play standard? You play hardcore. I'm assuming you play standard. You're all weird like that. No?
No, I just keep my GG gear.
You're a science man, I'm assuming. You're a magic fine man. That's not a science man, but you're a magic. I'm assuming you're a science man. I need 100,000 fusings in standard. So if you know anyone that's not a flipper prick like Acapella or whatever his name is, that isn't going to scam my rates, I've already got a rate up. Check it. It's for fusings to exalts. I'm offering the highest possible rate. The only catch is you have to sell me all 100,000 in one go. And I haven't had any buyers for that yet. But
how can
that's
someone...
my plug.
But then you need a middleman, right?
Yeah, I'll get Ziz to middleman 100,000 fusings. That's going to take literally hours, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, why Ziz?
Because fuck Ziz. So,
Does he want to take his time?
Well, it's a bad timing. If someone comes along and says, "Hey, I've got the fusing," I go, "Oh, great! Hey, here's 400 exalts. Take it." You want to? I've had this conversation with a flipper. I said he's got 270,000 fusings, and he's like, "Do you have the exalt?" I'm like, "It's right here." It's like, "That's great." I'm like, "Let's trade now." I'm like, "No, the only reason I've got the high rate is because I want the bulk trade." This is the confusing part. This is why I want a middleman. I could do it an inventory load at a time, but some guy's going to come along and only trade me one inventory load and get a really good rate. Like, the only reason I'm paying so much for such a good rate is because I need it bulk. That's like I'm paying for the bulk kind of thing. So I need a middleman. I need a middleman to make sure I don't get scammed out of my amazing rate, because I could get halfway through my X and then he's gone. But this guy's like, "Yeah, I've got 100,000 fusings," and he can't link it to me, of course, because you can't get a stack that big. And I'm like, "Okay, great, we'll middleman it." And he's like, "What's a middleman?" I'm like, you've got 100,000. You don't know what a middleman? So I explained it to him. He's like, "Nah, I don't trust people." And then he just logged off. And I was like, But I am looking for 100,000 fusings if anyone's got any. That's
the message is out there.
The message is out there.
If anyone's got any 100,000 fusings.
I've been wanting to set up a JPEG picture, wanted 100,000 fusings, put it on Reddit, but I think it'd get instantly removed, maybe because the mods are like, no low quality content or something. I didn't feel like putting
original
up a post.
Content.
Yeah,
2018.
well, it's out there now to the incredibly large audience of 17 people that watch this show.
Well, wait, you're forgetting the people that are not watching live, but watching the video on demand. That's another 5.
Okay, video, I'll add that on. To the 117 people watching this, I need 100,000 fusings. You could all put 1,000 together and make this meme happen. It'll be beautiful.
What meme is going to happen? You're going to try how many links you can get with 100,000 fusings? Or is it just...
Yeah, I'm going to do something that will make people that like currency hate themselves. Yes, I'm going to do quality items versus non-quality items, 50,000 each, and see if quality actually does impact 6 links. Because everyone's like, "Oh, you want to get a 6 link, be sure to quality it." But why? Do we know why? Are we going to trust GGG if they said that?
Yeah,
they said, "Fuck them." They're lying. They want us to use the shitty quality orbs.
You know, back in the day when trying to fuse or jeweler something would remove the quality?
What?
Yeah, it used to.
You remember when it used to reset the quality?
Dude, I've been playing this game for a year. I don't remember anything.
Okay. Yeah, then that was like 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah. They changed it. Using fusings or jeweler orbs on an item would consume the quality for a higher chance, and it actually says so in the tooltip.
Sucked. Well,
or it said so.
Fuck them, and we're gonna make sure I'm finding another excuse to blow a shit ton of currency to piss off all of Reddit. Basically, that's my plan.
I see.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Grand scheme of your work.
Divine law weaves. I'm gonna try and divine law weaves and get a perfect law weave. That's how I'm gonna waste all my other currency.
Oh god.
It's 1 in 45 billion.
Well, at least you'll get some divines out of vendoring the fail corrupt tabulas from the 900.
Yeah, I'll get like 66 maybe, because it's 1 in 3. Right? If I keep saying that it's 1 in 3 chance to get a good thing out of a corrupted implicit instead of 1 in 4, people are going to keep getting angry at me, and I enjoy that. I live off hatred. It's great.
Well, depends whatever you consider a good thing. Some people consider chance to avoid being shocked a good thing, because they stack it up to 100 and then they're shock immune and they don't need a shock remove flask.
Hardcore players are weird. I love block chance on my Scaviers because then I don't have to get it on anything else. Block chance is great. I'm Jiggy D. I'm sorry. What are we talking about?
Block chance is pretty good.
Oh,
Except for
hardcore
when
players.
when you die in the bestiary with a big hit.
Yeah. The
Hardcore
good thing about
players and their
Bestiary,
armor.
the zoo, I don't know how to pronounce the fancy name for it right now because I'm tired.
Menagerie.
The menagerie, there we go. The good thing about the menagerie is that you get to give your full DPS to the beasts.
You don't have to hold back, exactly.
You don't have to hold back.
Have you done the albino roa recipe?
No.
They still run away from you in the crafting recipes. They just hide in their cages and you have to go into each cage individually and beat the shit out of them. It's horrific. I would not recommend it. It's so gut-wrenching. You're the bad guy in that situation. Chills every
horrible.
time. It is. You're horrible. He's wearing a white shirt. You know how many rowers he killed for that?
Yeah, I guess they
suggests,
they bleed coffee, I guess.
How many hipsters have you killed to get all that coffee stains? Murdering them.
Well,
yeah.
We do have a topic list to work through because we all are taking out massive time from our racing schedule here, and we all need to go back into that ladder pushing, especially Mr. Humble Drag WaifuGate. What?
Yeah, I'm sleeping right after this. I've almost been up for I don't even know how long.
The more time we talk, the more people die in hardcore. He's fine.
That's true.
That's true.
Passive ladder climbing.
I haven't checked Reddit in like 20 minutes. This is probably dead again, you know? Great.
Marty died earlier.
That's good.
Good for waifu.
He was number one glad.
I bet you're glad that he died. I'm going to leave now. Puns. Sorry.
That was horrible indeed.
I'm sorry.
What was the next thing we were going to talk about? Was it the skill reworks or was it something else?
That's the only thing left is skill reworks.
Yeah, it was. We kind of covered the bestiary thing because like they've already like everyone's
just, like a little bit of talking.
Yeah, we just wanted Slippery's opinion on that since
somewhat.
Yeah, we've already elaborated on bestiary more than enough in the previous episodes. Like waifu.
We have at least like 7 hours logged on that a piece probably.
Yeah, 7 hours per person on bestiary. I'm gonna do a YouTube best of waifu and cat about bestiary soon.
That'll be a depressing montage.
Why?
Oh, if there's anything I'd kill myself to, it'd be a Catmaster podcast. I should stop joking like that. It is so dark. Go ahead. It's 3 a.m. That's why.
As long as you're not advertising anything that's causing self-harm.
No, you are by advertising this podcast.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't. To be fair, I didn't advertise that.
I advertise. Oh man, I'm on a list now.
Well,
I'm on more lists. Go ahead, dude. You want me to build up? You want me to get a segue going for you?
Do you still know where we're segueing to?
Yeah, Vaal Skill reworks. You ready for this awesome segue?
I couldn't be more ready.
Have you seen those things that people stand on that got 2 wheels and you lean forward for them to go forward?
Wait, like this?
I think they're called segways. Anyway, Vaal Skill reworks. And everyone else, take it away, Catmaster.
That's the wrong direction. I'm on that side.
I'm Australian. I was shooting. These aren't guns. They're boomerangs, and they go this way and they fly back there.
How do you throw your hands?
Boomerangs, mate. L, left hand L, and they go away and they come flying back like that. Take out kangaroos. I gave you the segue. You've ruined it. Come on.
Well, we had a bunch of announcements around reworks in the last couple of weeks for 3.3.0, the big next upcoming content update in Path of Exile. And the most recent one that we haven't covered in the previous podcast that we're going to cover in this podcast with SlipperyJim. Cling, cling.
That wasn't me.
No, it's my phone. it's great. It always goes off in the right moments. Well, as announced in that before mentioned announcement number 4, we're getting a rework on Vaal Skills. So the general idea that GGG is presenting here is that Vaal Skills will no longer be shitty, because they will make it in a way that Vaal Skills will no longer be able to chain generate souls, so they can make them stronger, and they're going to balance shift the whole thing back to the original idea of Vaal Skills that were originally intended to be super skills that can be used at crucial moments in the fight, rather than, you know, something that you either don't use at all or something that you use all the time, like Vaal Fireball, Vaal Spark, which they kind of killed with several changes. Yeah, going into that.
And how they said that Vaal
Yeah.
skills, once the souls are consumed, will act like a normal skill gem. Yeah.
No,
They said that?
I think that's at least not what I took away from.
Not confirmed. I could have sworn everyone was excited that once there's no more souls, or once you don't have souls, the Vaal skill will act as a normal skill of that type. I thought that was a thing. I may be making that up.
No, that
Breaking
would be
ground.
great, because that would save you a slot on the skill bar. But what I took
read
away
the
from
thing.
that is that a Vaal skill gem now grants the regular and the Vaal version of the
So
the
you're
skill.
thinking like 2 different things that you can socket into your skill box area.
Exactly, you socket one
With
gem,
one
but you
spot.
get 2 different setups. Holy shit! I'm gonna throw my phone against the wall.
Throw it out the window. So question of the day: does Vaal Breach give you both Vaal Breach and a portal gem? Because if so, that's the only thing I'm ever going to use.
That would
Yeah, it'd
be
be
pretty
really
much
nice.
amazing.
Cast on Death, well, not Cast on Death Portal for the hardcore players, obviously, but Cast on Death Portal for me, and Cast on Death Vaal Breach for horrifically killing my party members because I died and they have to pay for my mistakes.
No. But Vaal skills can never be supported by trigger conditions.
Ah, what a pity.
Yeah, sad. But yeah, that's
My
how I
joke-
understood it. Is that they? Yeah, it was a nice attempt. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Attempt at humor. Catmaster doesn't like humor. What a bastard. Go ahead, Vaal Skill. What do you want to say?
It's hard to draw the line between humor and seriously talking about the game in this podcast. What did I want to say?
Mm-hmm.
Well, previously when you were running, say, Reef, really it didn't make sense to run Reef without Vaal Reef, so you'd have to have, outside of your Reef setup, at least one more setup for Vaal Reef. And now you just socket a Vaal Reef gem into the place where normally you'd have your Reef gem, into the same 6-link setup, or 5-link if you're poor, like I am. And you'll get both skills. So you can put both on your skill bar just from one gem. And yeah, I think that's pretty cool, because like they said themselves, that you don't have to give an aura or herald or anything else in order to use
I've
that
never
one.
played a Reeve build. Did Reeve characters normally have to have like a 5-link or 6, like a 2 5-link, no, like 2 6-links, one for their Vaal and one for their?
No.
Or did they
no.
have did they have 2 gems in a 6-link and they were both 5-links? Like, do people use Vaal Reef?
They use Vaal Reef in every Reef build, because Vaal Reef overwrites the Reef stack limit. So Reef has an AoE, and that AoE gets bigger for every stack of Reef that you build up. Like, you build up stacks of Reef when you hit enemies with Reef. And normal maximum is 4, but with Vaal Reef you can get up to 8, and you can maintain those 8 with the normal Reef. You just can't gain above 4 with the normal Reef.
How do they have it linked in their tree? Like, this change, is it saving them like an entire 5-link, or are they saving one or 2 gems?
It's like one
or 2 gems.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you think of anything that has, been incredibly revolutionized by? I mean, people don't play Valspark anymore because they killed it. They're killing everything, and now they're buffing everything. But is there anything you can think of that, with this change, has got suddenly a new 5-socket or something?
With this one in particular. With
Just
this one in
Reeve?
particular, I think Reeve is the biggest winner.
It's like
out of
an
that.
extra gem.
I don't know if anyone's gonna play Ground Slam, which I was thinking about. you would have to have ground slam to clear up to a point and then use Vaal ground slam. And normally what people used to do is they'd use Vaal ground slam in like a 6-link with multi-strike, so it'd basically clear the whole screen and then recycle. And you would save yourself gem links anyway, because Vaal skills would no longer work that way, right? Like you can't get your Vaal souls back right after you use the skill. So something like ground slam, you would use like a 6-link ground slam. You'd still support it with multi-strike, even though Vaal ground slam wouldn't be supported by it, but the normal ground slam would. And you would save yourself sockets in that case, because you would normally use like maybe a 4-link ground slam to start yourself off, or like a 4-link Sunday instead, I think.
So what do you think is going to be? What do you think is going to be the most powerful? Like you say they're going to buff the skills to make them more like what they should be with the Vaal creatures in lore and all that crap. What do you think is going to be the most powerful?
Well, just to quickly sum that up and to clarify what they're exactly doing is previously you would be able to use Vaal skills, kill a large amount of monsters with it, and regenerate souls in order to use the Vaal skill again. And then against bosses, because you would gain those Vaal souls on kill, you wouldn't be able to generate souls against bosses, meaning you'd either bring the fully loaded Vaal skill into the boss and then use it, or you not use your Vaal skill at all against a boss, especially with something like Elder Guardians or Elder, which is in a separate area, so you get a reset on your souls and on your stuff. You can't bring Vaal souls into that fight. And now what they're going to change is 2 things. First of all, they're going to change it how you can generate souls with the Vaal skill itself, because Vaal skills are going to have a short cooldown in which you're not going to be able to generate souls after you use them. Say, whenever you Vaal Spark, you can't get souls for like 4 seconds. So most of the monsters that you kill with the Vaal Spark cast won't give you a soul for that Vaal Spark. Maybe for another Vaal skill, which that's actually something interesting, because previously if you ran 2 Vaal skills, it was problematic because you'd share the souls in between. Now if one of both is on cooldown because you just used it, does that mean that all of the souls that would have gone to that one go to the other one? Probably yes. So probably it's going to be more viable to run more than one Vaal skill setup. And there's another thing I wanted to say. They're also going to make it so that you can then generate souls from dealing damage to a boss. So not just from killing, but you'll also be able to generate Vaal souls on single target. They haven't exactly told us how it's going to work, but that's mainly their reasoning why then they will be able to make Vaal skills stronger, because you won't be able to sustain them on packs, and you will be able to use them in boss fights, so they want to make them a little bit more useful.
So you reckon they're going to give each, like they've explained that they've shown off a couple, like Detonate did, and pretty much all the lightning ones, like how they've made small changes to them.
Exactly, they want to also do mechanic reworks of the skills in particular, but what we just outlined is what's going to happen to all Vaal skills in general.
I'm reading this thing. I didn't read this earlier. I was not prepared.
Oh, that's good. Maybe some viewers also didn't read it yet. What about items that grant plus level to Vaal skills? Yeah, that's a question that has been asked before, whether they will also grant plus levels to the normal skill version. If you're using like a corrupted glove with a +2 level of socketed Vaal skills or tabula, will that also then affect the level of the normal gem? And then also, as the same person who asked that question pointed out, 6-string samurai in chat, for Vaal skills, it will be a little bit problematic if there are spells, because you won't be able to get a 21 spell if you're using just the Vaal skill gem in order to get the normal skill. So you can alternate between the Vaal version and the normal version of the skill, say Spark. So you're sparking it up, and then every time you get full souls, you can release a Vaal Spark. Now your normal Spark will not be able to be level 21, which is kind of used for a caster, because you're only using the Vaal version of the skill as a gem, which provides you both variants of the skill. I guess that's kind of a trade-off.
Yeah, I was about to say it'd be like a cost-benefit analysis, whether you want to run the Vaal or if you just want to have a 21 gem for the base damage for your just general clear.
Min maxes.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Nah.
Well, you said you've been playing for a year. That was Vaal Skills were still working like a year ago, right? That was still before they changed everything. Have you played a Vaal Fireball or Vaal Spark setup
I
before?
tried getting Valspark working and I quit halfway, but then later on someone told me how to do it and I had to go and it was the most fun. That was when Strand was still not shit. I mean, when Strand was fun and not nerfed, and I Valsparked on Strand for a very long time and it was very enjoyable. But I can see why they'd fixed, well, why they nerfed it and then why they're buffing it again now. From the lore, when I read into all the lore and stuff, the Vaal skills definitely seemed like something that were much more of like a groundbreaking, one-time use, here's my ultimate trump card anime weapon kind of thing, and not a, hey, let's run around with fireballs a whole bunch and be Asian. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I want whatever the heck. I hope they buff, what am I trying to say? I hope they buff Val like summon skeletons. Not the damage, but I just want like 100 skeletons. And only like give them like 8-second like you're in a boss fight and you're on 10% life and you're like, but I'm activating my trap card and then boom, you've got an army. I want that. But it's not for any like practical reasons, just for it to be scary in PvP.
I always like
no.
Vaal summon skeletons to irritate and distract bosses.
Like I want to see. I know they're going to do the slow drop feed of information because they love that now, don't they? But I really want to see what they're doing because they're like, we've reworked a lot of them, but here's 5, and you want to see some more breadcrumbs, you'll have to watch over on the forums. But no, I really want to see what they've done. I'm actually excited. I hate making builds. I love following build guides, but I'm actually excited to see what Vaal skills show up because now that I'm looking at the Wikipedia and I actually know what some of these skills are, this is going to be great. Yeah. Arc. I'm going to do an Arc build. I'm copying that guy Pim in chat. Arc totems next league. Done.
Yeah. I wonder whether Fox Tactics is going to come back for that.
I know, dude. I want him to come back so bad, man.
Yeah, I miss him as well. He was a super chill dude, and from what I've heard, there was some drama in his guild, and that's all the reason he quit.
Yeah. Well, also before the league started, he was complaining, like he was sick and he was playing this other game, and I stopped by his stream, and he was asking about how I felt about the state of the game, and he was just like, yeah, well, I was really looking forward to some skill reworks, and I'm just not excited about this league coming up. And that was, I think, prior to the like the falling out or whatever happened with the guild. So he was already kind of like not happy with the state of the game, and maybe with the skill reworks, like if that's the one thing that brings it back, it'd be awesome.
Yeah. No, I'm hyped for what they say they're going to do with the Vaal arc. Maybe as a little segue into the particular reworks for the skills that have been presented so far on that skill revamp announcement page. I should maybe link that in chat for the people who haven't discovered that yet. So yeah, they're gonna make it so that Vaal Arc, which previously basically worked the same as Arc, but then overrode the chain limit to 100, so it could chain 100 times between enemies. They make it so that it splits every time it chains. So basically it kind of fork chains now. And can hit more targets more rapidly because it, exponentially grows. You hit one target, that target's change on hits 2 targets, those hit 4 targets, and so on. And it can change in between, chain in between those targets as well, I think. So,
sounds great for bossing. That's sarcasm. Sorry.
Yeah. No, but previously it was also shitty for bossing outside of the what was it? The excavation, the old excavation boss, which is now the crystal ore boss. If I understand correct.
Yeah.
They switched the names of the maps. I don't understand some of those changes, by the way. Like, why is crystal ore now a high tier map and excavation is a low tier map? But crystal ore has now the excavation boss, and excavation now has the crystal ore boss. And
maybe it's basically a simple mistake. It's a simple
I think
mistake
it's
and they just don't want to fix it.
in the storyline when you're progressing, you go through the first mine area, and that's sort of the excavation almost, like if you pay attention to the layout. And you also fight those bosses in that area. So in mapping, you get to that sooner since it's a T3 map now. Whereas the crystal ore bosses, I don't even know where they come from really. You know what I'm
the
saying?
Burning Man and
The Burning Man, yeah.
and the other guys that are also in the Act 4
Right.
mines.
But you
So
go
don't
through
encounter
which
them
areas?
later.
Yeah, you
It's the same
encounter them
area.
one step. Yeah, but it's like one step. Wait, no,
It's not.
it's not.
Well, actually, yeah, you're right. It's in Crystal Veins.
Yeah, see?
The Burning Man is in Crystal Veins.
Yeah, and then yeah, yep.
But then only one of them is the Burning Man, and then the other ones there's this giant guy and the
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but maybe they'll add them into the storyline later. I don't know.
That seems a reasonable assumption. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, basically outside of like triple bosses, Vaal arc was pretty shitty, and like maybe for breaches or stuff like that, we'd really get the 100 chains out. But now it's going to be a lot more useful in a lot more situations. So I'm really curious to see that. I hope they're reworking the normal arc in some way or give it a threshold jewel. That people have been talking about that for a long time. They really wanted to get a threshold jewel that when it's self-cast, it deals in one way or another more damage to single targets. Because I think the general consensus is that the single target of arc is pretty shitty, but that they can't buff the single target of arc because of arc mines then being super strong, which they already are kind of strong. So if they make it even better, then arc mines would be through the roof, and the single target of the normal self-cast arc would still not be really good. But if they make it so that it could bounce off of the caster, I think that would be really great, because mines disappear as soon as they cast, so it couldn't bounce off the mine. But then, you know, it could bounce off a self-caster. Like, back and forth between the target. But yeah, if they do something to how Arc works in order to make it competitive in the way, you know, it handles single targets and farming, then I'd be hyped to play Arc build next league. If Fox Tactics doesn't come back to do that. That is.
I was looking up just to make sure. There's rogue exiles that use Vaal skills. So if they buff those specific Vaal skills, a lot of people are going to die horrific rogue exile related deaths.
I would love that.
Oh,
Yeah, I
great.
think
Just
we
letting
talked
you
about that
know.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the last podcast.
All good.
Yeah, we talked about the Rain of Arrows kind of thing.
Yeah, the
Vaal
Rain of Arrows, yeah.
Exile. That's true. Yeah. Is there any of the reworks? I mean, we covered the arc. There's the Lightning Strike, Detonate Dead, Stormcall, Double Strike. Is there any that you guys want to in particular talk about?
I'm just hoping. I'm just hoping that they might bring in some new Vaal skills as well on top of reworking the old ones.
I think they literally said that. We have a number of entirely new Vaal skills coming, which we'll reveal in the next weeks to come, is what literally the post says. So guys, new Vaal skills are announced for the people who didn't read that into or out of that announcement.
I didn't read it. I want Vaal Flicker.
I totally read it.
So that's
I just haven't read it recently, that's all.
Yeah, no, I mean, I also had to read it again in order to be sure. Well, well, then I'll just go on and summarize the other changes, because I personally thought that Vaal Stormcall change was really interesting, because previously Vaal Stormcall and Stormcall didn't work in the same build with synergy, because for Stormcall to be more direct, faster damage dealing, you want to stack less duration, right? So that between the cast and the time the Stormcall strikes down, the delay is relatively short. And Now, Val's Stormcall is a duration skill that when you put it down, lightning strikes for an amount of duration. So if you stack less duration, you're going to get less value out of your Stormcall, of your Vaal Stormcall. And now they're going to make it so that the skill will strike for a fixed amount of times over the complete duration, rather than at a set interval. Meaning that if you stack less duration on Vaal Stormcall, you'll still get the same damage out, but just faster, rather than get the same DPS out, but then less damage overall, which I think is really great. I always wanted to run a warped timepiece Stormcall self-caster. Like, I could never justify it, but now I might want to try that, especially with the new spell cascade support.
So does that mean less duration buffs the Vaal skill and does the opposite to the normal skill? Is that what you said, or did I mishear you?
Previously, less duration would benefit the normal version and not make it worse for the Vaal version, but now it makes it so that both benefit from less duration.
Fuck. That's good then.
Yeah, I think that's pretty
terrible with people explaining things game mechanic-y. I need to explain.
I'm terrible I'm terrible at explaining.
I don't know. I can't judge, but you completely lost me through all of those sentences. But I got it there. I appreciate it.
It's a lot of information to take in at once.
Especially if you've never heard of Vaal skills before.
Hey, no judgment. I played Vaal Spark. That's a thing. I didn't know there was like 20 of them. That's a lot. Vaal Breach, I want that. That's good. Yeah. Waifu should speak more. Yes, he said barely anything.
What? No, the first half of the podcast was just you guys talking and me listening.
That was but that was all humble brag.
Well, I mean, like, I talked about the Vaal Ground Slam thing that I sort of planned on doing. Vaal Reef seems really good still. Vaal Spark, like, I mean, it's just stuff that I've thought about here and there, but I haven't really spent a lot of time thinking about different things that I want to do with it. I've been sort of focused on the race, so.
Yeah, same
What
here
about,
with
like,
Vaal reworks.
The buffs, like the Vaal buffs, like Grace and Haste and all that stuff, whether you reckon they're going to give them a buff and a half? Because how is they going to make that something that is like a sudden boost of power? I mean, they already are. Go ahead. They already are a sudden boost of power.
Well, people might actually use Vaal Immortal Call just because, like...
I mean, if it turns into the self-cast Immortal Call of 10 seconds of no death, people just use that instead of it'll still be casting.
It protects you from elemental damage, doesn't it? Vaal Immortal Call?
It prevents you from dying. It doesn't even prevent you from taking damage. It just prevents you from dying.
Oh, it prevents you from dying straight up Vaal Immortal
Call? You can now be like every other boss in the story and just be immortal for 30 seconds. When they go immortal in the sky, you can just press it and you're good. Instead of logging out as a hardcore character, you could just roll Vaal Immortal Call.
Or you can do Vaal Immortal Call and then log out.
That works too. Although you can't add it into your macro, otherwise you're going to get banned.
No, of course not.
Now the problem is always with Vaal Immortal Call is that you actually have to have souls in order to use it, which is kind of... I don't know, it feels weird to depend on soul charges for something that saves your ass in a sketchy situation.
But I mean, like,
Worm Blaster build. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, new Worm Blaster. Yeah, nice.
There's gonna be one. It's gonna be amazing.
Immortal Call Blaster.
Well, I mean, you get Vaal souls now for damaging the boss too, so you can kind of sit there and like watch for when you might be able to have it up, or if you have it up before the fight. Like, I don't know. I think
that's true. Vaal Immortal Call may actually be a thing for those situations in Kitava where you would normally portal out, but then now you can use Vaal Immortal Call and be immune for a couple of seconds, and stand in the degen and the disco ball at the same time, and just DPS away or something like that.
Yeah, but it's also super sketchy because, like, if it just prevents you from dying, you'd probably be at like 1 HP. That's super scary.
Yeah.
Is Vaal Righteous Fire a thing? It is. I want a buff on that as well. Oh, yes.
Vaal Righteous Fire used to be quite nutty when Grand Spectrum stacking was a thing and double dipping on ignites. I don't know whether it came in time for that, Jim, but it was really funny seeing
I
people.
think I was there, but I was too dumb to grasp the concept.
Well, people were just basically clearing maps with Aberos Hoofs and maybe Heralds, and then one-shotting the boss with with Vaal Righteous Fire in tier 16 maps. It was really fun to see people run into Minotaur and like boom, and the Minotaur burns down from the double dip ignite.
I miss all the fun stuff.
And they've done a lot to change that.
Right. God. Best silence. Love it.
Best sales?
Best
Best
silence. Love it.
silence.
Best silence? Yeah, the silence is cool. I think it's a lot more of a relaxed silence with you guys.
Oh, I
than any
I
other
love
silence.
that degen that kills that not degen. I love that curse that kills hardcore players. Silence. Oh, it's my favorite. Why can't I run away? Why can't I cast? Oh, I'm dead. It's my favorite. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
It's not that noticeable if you're playing an attacker, but yeah. It does, if you for some reason didn't know, it does prevent your cast when damage taking Immortal Call to go off. You're silenced. You cannot Immortal Call even if it's triggered. You're silenced. That's pretty shitty.
Yeah, I remember dying 1 or 2 times to the when I was running cast when damage taken with the harvest, that old build. I would get destroyed by the hex font mod because I didn't have a warding
Curse remarks,
flask.
yeah.
Yeah, so I had to eventually get like a jewel that was corrupted for it because otherwise, like I would just get silenced. Because with that build, you blow all of your flasks and you take damage, and then you would rely on your damage from taking damage, basically the spells that would trigger off from that, to leech for you. And you wouldn't get anything back because you weren't actually casting spells, so you would just actually bottom out and die instantly.
That sounds great. Oh, glorious times. I'm just checking whether there's anything in chat. I think if you guys don't want to say anything about the Vaal skills, I mean, I could read out all the changes, but I think I presented the most interesting changes to Vaal skills so far, and the ones that I understood the most. And there's certainly going to be new announcements about new Vaal skills upcoming and new reworks to existing Vaal skills. And yeah, if there's people who want to still hear us talk about a specific topic, now's the time to speak up in chat. If you never had the chance to visit SlipperyJim in his glorious stream and ask him what he always wanted to know about the Australian outback and living in the bush and not having a glass fiber
How not
internet
to die
connection.
every day. It's great. Step 1, don't touch spiders. Step 2, don't touch spiders. No, snakes are fine. Don't touch spiders.
Snakes are fine?
Don't touch cows. Biggest killer in Australia, cows. Seriously, don't touch cows. They will fuck you up. Yeah. If cows were in Rayclass, everyone would be dead instantly.
Secret cow level in Rayclass.
That's probably a thing. Built specifically for hardcore players. As soon as you join, you die. Right.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think we all can't wait to get back to our racing characters, or in Waifu's case, to bed. So he can quickly get that rest that he needs in order to get back on his racing character.
Yeah, I can't wait to drop down to 63rd place again.
In total?
I can't wait to see your rip in like a couple days. It's going to be great. Look forward to the clip.
Couple of years?
Couple days. Couple months? 28 months in a year? In a month?
28 months in February.
Yeah, totally. Well, it seems that the audience is almost as stunned as we are and not able to provide any input. Or what's that? Is that the mouse pad or is that a wallet?
What? That's my purse that I keep my money in. It looks like Doge.
That's amazing.
I'm a small Asian woman.
That's I love that. I want to have that. Do you have the Feels Batman S mousepad?
No, I don't have anything. I've just got. That's my only meme item, sadly. Oh, I own a single Dogecoin. It's worthless.
Have you seen this?
It's great.
Here, there's a sad
Oh,
frog.
God.
A sad frog Feels Batman mousepad that you can buy on Amazon. Here, guys, look at it.
I
In all its
actually
glory.
don't have a mouse pad. You could buy it for me if you like.
Amazing, guys.
Oh no, I hate.
If you
I hate
ever
the ones with the little.
what
little-
with
the ones with the little wrist rests. I hate them so
you don't
much.
like that? You don't want to
My cousin
rest your
bought me
wrist?
one of a lady with, and I just.
But
it's
if
like,
it's
hey, I'll need to angle my wrist 70
But-
degrees to use the mouse pad.
but if it's the butt of Paper the Frog, isn't that
It's not
better
as
than?
good.
It's not as
No,
good.
I'd rather him be turning around and have it be a giant green something or other. That'd be great. Terms of service.
Okay, good to know.
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Well, so Jim, if people like your way of approaching the game and doing things and way of talking, and where can they find you?
You can Google SlipperyJim and make sure you spell it right, otherwise you're going to end up on inappropriate websites. And you'll find me. I should be a top search result because no one else out there has a really stupid name like me.
Wait,
You don't have to
why are you
search-
Slippery
Don't.
Jim 8 then?
Because I don't want to tell you the embarrassing story. No, it's because that's how old I was when I had to think of the username. Don't worry about it. Yeah, because SlipperyJim was taken, and I'm like, okay, how old am I? Just put that number there, boom, now it's there for life. Problem. Yep, no problem.
That's a
Look
while
at that,
ago.
SlipperyJim, 1910. That's when I was born. IMDb. Yep, that's me.
A phlegmatic pickpocket is arrested and taken to his cell. As he is an
gotta
unusually
watch that.
wily customer, he is bound by fetters and chained to the wall. Speedily putting these off, he is locked up. That sounds like the
7
story
out
of your
10.
life.
Chained to the wall. That's like sadistic. That's basically me.
Well, anyway, guys, Slippery Jim has a pretty awesome YouTube that you can find on the link down below, and he also streams pretty much daily on the Twitch, almost. If you're not working on videos or wandering
Oh.
through the Australian outback.
I've been trying to stream every time that I've been playing during Flashback. So for the next 2 weeks, I will hopefully be streaming at some point during the day.
That seems great. And Waifu, how about you? When can we catch your stream and see you rip in the top 10 Gladiator, and where?
Well, the latter of that won't happen, but you can see me stream. I usually start around. It's been kind of wild lately. I've been doing late night quiet streams starting at like 10 p.m. and I've been chunking it up, so I'll like start my stream at whatever, like let's say 8 or 9 a.m. or something. That's when I normally start, or 10 a.m. Pacific, like California time, and then I'll stream until my roommate streams, which is around like 5 or 6 p.m. And then I jump back on for quiet hours from 10 p.m. until then, and sometimes I sleep.
Wow. You sleep?
Sometimes.
That's something unheard of in the PoE community.
I know, and I stretch too every hour. It's very important. You guys should do that.
Show
You
us
got-
your moves.
You guys should
Alright,
go
so-
into WaifuGate's channel and
Like
type
that.
! stretch and see whether the Nightbot command is still there.
Oh, you're making like the little butterfly on the wall with the shadow? I love that.
No. Waifu is doing hand dance for subscribers. Like, hand choreography.
Anyway.
And Waifu also muted his mic apparently, or he
That
learned
is
how to
hilarious,
silently
also.
laugh.
That was
Mhm.
silently laughing.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
And I also muted my microphone.
That's
Wow,
skills right
double
there.
skills. Oh,
I can do a dog. Woof.
I can do a cow. Like this.
I'm interested now. That is not a cow. What is that?
It's a cow head. Ow.
It's a cow who's
I
been
always
hit
get
by
a cramp in
car.
my hand.
Oh, yeah.
Well, anyway, if you want to see more funny shadow plays and stuff, you can find Catmaster, which is me, on my channel, which you can see the links down below, and we'll also link the 3 respective broadcasters below the video on the YouTube. And I'll be most likely streaming in an hour or 2 after this podcast, after I sorted out everything and made sure that the video on demand is on the way to YouTube. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in live, and thank the ones watching on YouTube, and make sure you do that which SlipperyJim said in the beginning, the subscribe, and what is the other thing that they have to do?
Give me all your money on Patreon, and give me your social security information and your mum's credit card details.
Seems good and feels amazing, man. See you guys in 2 weeks with the next Faded Connections podcast.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, I guess. This is weird.